So in this video, let's do a few examples of string functions and how to use them. So let's do the first program. So write a program such that the input is a decimal number, and for example, let's say 285.69, and the program should print out the decimal part of the number. So if our input is 285.699, the output should be just 0.699. So pause the video and try it out on your own. So assuming that you tried it, let's do it now. So the first thing is we must get the input. So let's get the input. So s is equal to the input, enter a decimal number. So we get the decimal number, and then we're going to be using the partition function. So I'm going to say, let's say pt, the partition is equal to s dot partition, and the way we're going to partition is by using the decimal point that is there on the decimal number. So that point, we'll be doing that. And now what we need to do is, all we need to do is just print. So we'll print the dot, and after printing the dot, and we add to it the partition. So the partition will be containing 3 different elements, so we need to look at the last element, so the third element, so that would be index 2. So partition index 2, and I think that would be it. So let's see what happens. So let's say 285.699, the same number, and we get 0.699 as our output. So that works. Now let's try another program. So say you were given some input, some text, and you had to print how many vowels were there in the text. So as always, pause the video and try it out on your own. So I believe you tried it out, so let's do it. So first, obviously we must check the input. So let me delete this first, and let's check the input. So enter some text. Alright, and now we're going to store the number of vowels in the count. So that's going to be a new variable, and what we can do is we can use the count function of the string. So we can take s dot count, and what are we going to count? We're going to count vowels. So first let's count the vowel a. So so we will get how many a's are there inside. Now we can, that would be a number, and we can add s dot count. Similarly we could check how many e's are there. So the same thing. I'm just going to copy paste this now for the rest. So A, E, I, O and U. So we're going to be checking how many A's are there, how many E's are there, how many I's are there, how many O's are there, and how many U's are there. And we're going to be adding all those different numbers to find out what is the count. And finally we can just print. There are, we can add, let's say we can add the count, and we can add, let me keep a space here, there are plus count plus another space vowels. So that should be it. Let's try it out. So I'm going to type, an apple a day keeps a doctor always away. See what happens, and we get an error, can only concatenate string to string. So we have an integer somewhere. So the mistake was that the count was actually an integer, it was holding a number, and we can't add a number and a string together. So what we can do instead is we can convert this count to a string first, and now the concatenation should work. So let's see. So let me copy the same thing that I typed, Apple a day keeps the doctor always away. So let's see what happens. 13 vowels. So let's check if that's correct. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. So there are 14 vowels actually. So the issue here is that in the start of our text we have an A, but that is a capital A. So when we search for the count of A, it doesn't look for the capital A. So to fix this issue, what we can do is we can do s dot lower, or actually s is equal to s dot lower, so everything will become in lowercase, and now hopefully it should work. And yeah, exactly, it has said 14 vowels are there, so it works. Now before we leave, I'm going to be giving you two programs that you can try on your own, see if you can do it. So the first one would be to write a program to, so you would input some line of text, some text would be there, and you had to create another text where each word would be reversed. So for example, if we say there are 5 cats, right? So the output, this is your input, there are 5 cats, so the output should be let me just show that first. So there are 5 cats and the output should be, let's see, EREHT, so that's the backwards, so that's in reverse, EREHT, ERAEVIF, this is damn confusing, STAC. So that should be your output. Basically all the words have been reversed, so that should be the output. The next program would be to read a line. So you're given some input as text and you must print out all its, you could say, statistics. So you must find out how many alphabets are there, how many uppercase alphabets, how many lowercase alphabets are there, then how many digits are there or how many numbers are there, and finally how many symbols are there. So 5 things to find out: alphabets, uppercase, lowercase alphabets, numbers and symbols. And with that we are done.